Greetings. Today we're going to talk about losing weight, the easy way. And if you've noticed, I'm wearing a red tie today. The red tie indirectly holds the secret to how you're going to lose weight the easy way. Now, maintaining a healthy weight is very important. Science tells us that being overweight can be a risk factor for some very serious diseases like heart disease, stroke, and even some forms of cancer. The CDC tells us, that's the Centers for Disease Control, that nearly 73% of adults over the age of 20 are overweight or even obese. Being overweight is defined as having a BMI of over 25. Now, maintaining a healthy weight, that's a very personal story to me. You see, ever since I was little, I just loved to eat. The more, the better. Quantity over quality. A buffet, that was a challenge. Nobody was going to make money off of me on a buffet. And even though for a very long time I followed nutrition and I ate healthy foods, I also loved unhealthy foods. Lots of sweets, couldn't get enough of it. Fast food, loved it. I was the guy that brought in a box of donuts for everybody. And when I was young, when I was in my teens, when I was in my 20s, I could get away with it because I would just burn it off. I exercised. And probably a lot of you have a similar experience. But once I got into my 30s and early 40s, I couldn't do that anymore. I couldn't get away with it, and my weight started creeping up. And then I'd notice it, and I'd say, oh gee, I have to do something about it. But I wouldn't want to cut back on all the good food that I love to eat. So what would I do? I would do periods of extreme exercise. Like at one point, I was even exercising 3 times a day, maybe an hour and a half each time, doing high intensity aerobics. And lo and behold, that worked. I burned off all the fat. People said, hey, you look great. But the challenge wasn't sustainable. I couldn't exercise 4.5 hours a day, every day, on a long-term basis. It would conflict with my schedule too much. So then I battled with weight again, and it got up to 220 pounds. And I had so much trouble until I learned the easy way to lose weight. Now, there's a lot of information out there on the internet about how to lose weight quickly, easily, a lot of hype. Maybe you've seen some of these. Here are some of the things I've seen just looking at YouTube. The magic food, eat this and the pounds will shed. Or you can eat whatever you want and as much as you want and still lose weight. You can lose weight while you sleep. You could poop out your extra weight. Now, I'm not sure how many people this has worked for, but I've never seen any science say that's what you should do. Now, I also came across a lot of useful information, but it didn't quite work for me. Like one of the tips was, drink a lot of water before you eat. It'll fill up your stomach, and then you won't eat as much. And it turned out that was right, but the challenge for me was water leaves your stomach in like 10 to 20 minutes. So I'd find myself getting hungry shortly thereafter, and I'd want to eat again. Or I've heard things like, well, if you're going to snack, look for something like nuts. They're high in protein, high in fiber. That's going to make you feel full. It's going to satisfy you, and you're not going to want to eat. The fiber will stay in you. Sounds great. The challenge is that nuts, maybe they have 150, 170 calories in an ounce of nuts. But an ounce of nuts is so tiny. So I'd eat an ounce of nuts and my stomach still felt empty. So I'd eat more and more. So now all of a sudden the calories are piling up. So that didn't work for me. Now, if we're going to talk about how to lose weight, let's think about a basic fact. First of all, most of your weight loss is going to come from diet, not exercise. So let's do the math and understand why. So let's say you are going to follow the guidelines of the Health and Human Services. And you're going to do you're going to do 150 minutes of cardio each week. All right. So a pound of fat, that's about 3,500 calories. Now the Mayo Clinic tells us if you jog for an hour, you're going to burn about 600 calories. If you walk for an hour and you're a 160-pound person, you're going to burn about 300 calories. So again, 150 minutes, that's 2.5 hours, 600 calories per hour if you're jogging. You do that 150 minutes a week, 2.5 hours, you're going to burn 1,500 calories. That's less than half a pound. So now you're thinking, well, wait a minute. I did what I was supposed to do, and you're telling me now I'm going to burn less than half a pound a week. That's depressing. So that's not going to work. Now, you're going to have to diet. But here's the thing. Be very careful about this, because when you change your eating habits, you want to make sure you still maintain proper nutrition, right? A lot of sources online available that'll tell you these are the nutrient requirements that you have, like protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and so on. And a lot of information that'll tell you the typical nutritional values of these foods, or you can look at the labels. And also, if you change your diet and you're not sure you're getting the right amount of nutrition, you can always talk to your doctor. Okay, now, let's talk about how to lose weight. I think of the different ways that you can lose weight by dieting, and I put them into 3 categories. The wrong way, the hard way, and the easy way. So let's talk about these. Now, what do I call the wrong way? The wrong way is any type of diet that's not sustainable. One of the biggest findings we have in the weight loss field is people go on a diet, they lose the weight, they go off the diet, and the weight comes back. Because a lot of times they pick diets that they can't sustain. So what are some examples of this? Well, let's say you sign up for a program where they're going to send you all the food that you're going to eat. Okay, that's great. So they've measured it out, it's got the right nutrition, it's low in calories, you eat it, you stay with it, you lose weight. You say, oh, great, I'm at the weight I need to be, but I don't want to eat this way forever, so I'm going to stop the plan, and now I go back to my old ways, and the weight comes back. Or I've seen people go on unusual diets for them, like extreme fasting or keto, and they say, okay, I'm just going to eat meat, I'm just going to eat fat, and I'm going to give up things like breads, and beans, and fruits that have, like bananas that have sugar in them. And again, the weight comes off, and they're like, okay, but I don't want to eat this way forever. So I go off keto, and the weight comes back. Even my own exercise program that I did when I was doing the extreme exercise, that wasn't sustainable. So I lost the weight, I stopped doing it, and the weight came back. So if you can't sustain it, that's the wrong way to try to lose weight. So now let's talk about the hard way. The hard way is when you do strict diet and exercise. Now, the good news is that works. A friend of mine that I met in graduate school when I was going for my PhD, kind of overweight, we were good friends, great guy, visited me a few years after I had graduated. I was already in the workforce, came down and visited me, and man, did he look great. I mean, this guy was chiseled and cut and lean and toned. And I said, wow, you look fantastic. What's your secret? And he said, well, I just really strictly dieted, watched all the foods I ate, gave up a bunch of things, did a lot of exercise, and this is what happened. Okay, that's great. That works. And if that's your plan, that's fine. You can do it if you can sustain it. But that's the hard way. It took a lot of effort. He said, yeah, it was a lot of hard work. And I said, yeah, and probably most people aren't going to want to do something like that, but for you, it worked great. Okay, so where does that leave us? The promised land. So now we come to the easy way to lose weight. Now, the easy way has 2 general strategies, and a few tactical tips that I use. Strategy number 1, eliminate what I call crap food. Crap food is something that's high in calories and low in nutritional value. It's filled with sugar, salt, fat. You know what I'm talking about. The sweets, the fast foods, ultra-processed foods that you see in the store. This stuff makes you fat. It's designed to be addictive, to get you to eat as much of it as possible. It always worked on me. If I ate chips, I wanted to eat the whole bag. If I ate donuts, I wanted to eat the whole box. All it did was make me fat and unhealthy. Eliminate that as much as you can. If once in a while you want a piece of cake or something like that, that's up to you. But try to eliminate the foods that are harmful to you and just add weight and calories, but don't give you any benefit. So that's strategy number 1. Strategy number 2, and I owe thanks to Rodney Dangerfield, and I'm wearing a red tie since that was his trademark, for inspiring this. Eat big food. You may remember the movie Back to School. Rodney Dangerfield plays self-made millionaire, and his wife's throwing a big party for her rich friends, and Rodney walks out to the buffet table, grabs a loaf of bread, cuts it in half, opens it up, scrapes out the bread and starts dumping trays of food in it to make a sandwich. And I'm watching this because this was decades ago, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's my kind of sandwich. And he goes, I hate small food, you know? So that's not what I'm suggesting you do when I say eat big food. I'm saying you want to eat meals that are low in calories, high in fiber, and very big. So some of my favorites are eating a very big salad, eating a big smoothie, or finding a giant cantaloupe when they're in season and cutting it in half and eating half a cantaloupe with some fruit. Now, this is great for 3 reasons. 1, it's big. So you eat this and now all of a sudden your stomach feels full and you're like, I can't fit any more in there. I don't want to eat anymore. When I eat a big salad, I'm done for the night. All right, 2, these foods are high in fiber. So they stay in you longer, so you don't get hungry so quickly. And 3, they're low in calories and high in nutrition. So they don't make you fat, but they help you get all the nutrients that you need. So that works wonderfully. Now, some advantages here. It's sustainable because you don't have to eat all of your meals that way. It doesn't have to be permanent diets. In fact, you adjust it based on how much weight are you trying to lose or whether you're trying to maintain weight. So you eat more of them if you need to lose weight. You eat a few of them a week if you're trying to sustain weight. And so you're saving a lot of calories without drastically changing your diet. Now, tactical tricks. So I do these as well. 1, to keep myself from getting hungry between meals. I drink a big glass of water with psyllium husk. So again, the idea is to make my stomach feel full, but since I said the water goes out pretty quickly, I put a lot of psyllium husk in it because I know that's going to be slow to digest. So it'll keep me feeling fuller longer. I look for lower calorie alternatives. So for example, I make my own salad dressing when I have the big salad I mentioned. Extra virgin olive oil, balsamic vinaigrette, and a few spices. Does it taste as good as the store brand? No. I mean, that's their job. They're supposed to make tasty food. It's not my job. That's not my expertise. But at least I know I'm eating healthy, I'm eating good things, and I'm not eating things that are going to make me fat. If I go to a restaurant, a lot of them will post how many calories each meal is. You'd be amazed. Wow, 1,500, 2,000 calories sometimes. And then they put next to it, based on a 2,000 calorie diet, and I'm thinking, okay, that's your whole day's worth of food right there. So I look for low calorie alternatives. That's another way to save. Now, on times when I'm not eating the big food, there are times when I'd eat a normal meal and then afterwards I'm thinking, you know, I could go for something else. But I know if I do that, okay, now I'm adding calories. I'm putting my maintaining healthy weight ritual at risk. So I make myself a promise. I say, look, if you still want something more, go ahead and do that. But here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to get a big glass of water. I'm going to fill it with psyllium husk. I'm going to take my supplements. And then at the end, if I still want to eat something, that's fine. And so far, it's worked. I haven't felt the need because, first of all, I'm giving myself more time to digest because I'm a fast eater. So I'm giving my body a chance to say, okay, you've had food, you're all right. And also, again, I'm filling my stomach with water and psyllium husk so that I don't feel the need to eat more. Now, I want to say one last point about all of this because somebody could think about, well, okay, you know, how much do I really need to worry about this? What if I'm okay? You know, I don't mind being extra weight because I really love to eat. But a lot of you are probably watching this video because you're very interested, as I am, in living longer and being healthier. Now, there's millions of studies probably that you could find out there on things that will help you live longer and be healthier. And a lot of things will work. I've looked a lot at these studies myself. The one thing that for many decades and most consistently comes up as producing the biggest benefit in extending lifespan and keeping you healthy as you age is reducing the number of calories that you eat, as long as you're maintaining the proper amount of nutrition. So think of this equation. Fewer calories equals longer life. So if you can reduce the number of calories that you do, you're going to add healthy years to your life. You're going to live longer and you're going to be healthier. So that's the payday. It may not taste as good, but you're going to feel healthier, you're going to live longer, and in the end, it's going to be a decision you'll be happier. Well, thank you very much for listening. If you like the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know your weight loss tips and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Because after all, as I always say, we can learn from each other. And remember, your journey to a younger, healthier, and hopefully maintained weight future starts here.